One of the most important types of technical debt to stay on top of is naming, using correct names. When you create a type, you're identifying it as an idea, but that idea may change and grow. The type may grow beyond its initial charter, so to speak. And when that happens, let's rename things, especially when it becomes confusing and starts slowing us down. That's when you really want to rename. We're going to do a lot of that in this recording of this live coding session. And we're live. Welcome back. Slightly earlier. Thanks for being here, Mudshark, and a couple other folks who are here already. Say hello. Thanks for joining, being flexible with your schedules. This works a little better for me to be half an hour earlier. John Irving. All right. Excellent. We are ready. Hey, the Codatrix. We are ready to get this show going. My name is John Reed. I am a technical coach and developer, and we are doing Mastermind. Oh, wait, there was something I wanted to show you. I don't want to. I won't show you. I'll just say I have a new YouTube video for the TDD with SwiftUI actual curated series instead of this live nonsense. And that's out. Another one has been posted but hasn't been released yet. So they're starting to come. I'm pretty happy about that, and with the direction of keeping them really short, like just a few minutes, sometimes just a couple of minutes. I think the next one is super short. It's just like, what's the concept? Boom, here it is. Instead of, back in the old days before MTV, when when you could just make a video that was 45 minutes long and people would watch it. Hey, Marcus. Last time, what did we do? I'm using, yep, rename. Automated bindings is out there. Our bindings for automated refactorings. Whenever they happen to work with Xcode. Just making it faster. So my TCR script now has a description variable. So you can customize what it says, what the prompt is, and that's where I have my prompt for Arlo's commit notation. We started using the Mikado method, and maybe we'll continue. Maybe not. I'm not bound to it. It's a helpful tool. William Wake is in the house. Hello, Bill. What are we trying to do? The tree is actually a little kind of confusing right now because it's easier to see it in the code, I think. We are trying to show in Mastermind empty. We're trying to show multiple rounds. That's what this is. And we want to have feedback empty. We discovered that we have here in the game. No, in the game screen. The game screen has feedback pegs. Now, the feedback pegs are not a view. They are a domain idea. And this worked when there was a single round to have the pegs out here, but they really belong inside of rounds. To my surprise, we don't even have a round. We have a guess. Here, rounds is an aggregate container of Well, problem. It's a container of guess. It's like, shouldn't it be a container of round? Yeah. Um, so we've got some technical debt, and that's where some of this gets confusing. Oh, and go back to the game screen, John. So you get one shot at getting this right, and if you lose Mastermind, you're dead. So the feedback pegs, we are now passing them in to the round view, but we're passing the round in for each round. Wait, I'm calling it round out here. What is this? Oh, for each looping over one with an I. Oh, it's round one. It's round number. Yeah. Okay, let's start cleaning things up. We've got some clashing terms here, and I don't feel a great need to do the Mikado method yet until we get tangled. So just to be clear, this should be the round number. So let's change it out here. Automated refactoring. Good enough. And so really this is a round number. These should just fly in as simple renames. Which really means that this is round number. Just following it. Follow, follow, follow. And then I want to rename the guess. Rename. It didn't? Let's go here. Ah, that's why it didn't rename. There's no explicit initializer. Oh. Ah, nice. So Marcus uses F2 for rename. Yeah, if that's the only automated refactoring that works consistently, it's not. So yes, Marcus is using the same key across IDEs. That's why I chose Control Command N, because I think that was the default with most JetBrains stuff, if not all of it. So this is interesting. I can't just rename this. It's not picking it up because it's an implicit initializer. That's kind of funky. What do you make of that? See, it's kind of like maybe sometimes an explicit initializer instead of an implicit one is more flexible. something I hadn't considered. Maybe let's do it this way. Let's add the initializer. This is a low risk because if it compiles, I'll call it medium. Now I should be able to do this in stages. Yeah. Sometimes extract method works, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And that's why I value having it as a key binding, so that rather than poke through, this is the content of my video that I just added, rather than have to go through and go to the refactor menu and find out it's not there, I can just hit the key, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, I'll do it manually. Just to save time. So, now, rename property, and now we should be able to get rid of this. It's kind of funny. It was helpful. So do we want it? And yet, it doesn't really add anything. I feel like if you want it, it's easy to put back in. So that's an interesting thing. Let's note this in our notes. Oh, I forgot to make a new notes section. Can't. Add temporary init to rename. How's that? That's clear enough. So with that, this should just fly through. Remove init, use implicitly. Okay. So that's round number, which is interesting. I feel like that's something that the round should keep track of. What is my round number? Right. So back to our game screen. Round number. This is throwing me off. This is no longer a guess. We want it to be a round. I can't think of a reason not to do this. Let's do it. Yeah. Would be good. Rename guess to round. That's a big one. And we'll pick up the guess tests while we're here. Okay, with that, actually, let's see. There are reasons. It'd be interesting to explore sometime, maybe together, um, with like-minded folk. What are the reasons it's not as smooth, and what can we do about it? Or how do we live within the constraints of work and do things better? For example, I discovered, um, I'm doing trunk-based development here. Um, so the rename of guests didn't rename. Oh shoot! Yes. It didn't rename the tests. The tests because that's a separate type. Um, an example of kind of making things better is that here I'm doing trunk-based development. Boom, it passes push, and but in a system that uses pull requests, searching branches, and I've never needed or even didn't even know about Git work trees until this past week or two, when I discovered that you can check out essentially you can check out a branch. You can have multiple branches on multiple folders. The big advantage to that is that I can switch branches by saying close Xcode, open this other project that's a separate branch, and that preserves all the build artifacts and caches and object files and so forth. So I don't have to sit there. I'm not discouraged from switching branches, because otherwise it's like, I just switched. Xcode wants to rebuild the world. So that's an example of the kind of thing I'd like to maybe get some ideas rolling. Test. Oh, create guess. Make SUT. I see. So that's guess size. Let's just rename some of this. That's the secret size. Sets the guess size. That's correct. We see where else guess is used here. No, that's good enough. All right. So this should be a little more sane on the tree, where we want to move feedback pegs into round. Haha. This I'm not sure about anymore. I don't think that we should pass the initial feedback pegs into the round initializer. The round should just maintain the pegs. I know there's a school of thought that says basically you shouldn't have anything initialize. You shouldn't ever have an object initialize another object, and I think that's overkill. I think it's a good thought experiment, and it can lead to good injection of when you're building up things and having your composition root assemble them. But I'm not hardcore on that. I've tried to use that when it's helpful. So I don't think this is right anymore. I think that It is, yeah. This it's awkward. Let me show you the awkwardness of it. So I think we set up initial feedback pegs. We're not using it. I don't think anything is using it. Let's find out. I'll just break this and do a build. Yeah, so nothing's using it yet as far as I know. And I don't think it should. The secret size, here's the problem. If I say, okay, you have to provide the initial feedback pegs, which are, there's the fail. And this says, what are those initial feedback pegs? Well, it is taking feedback peg initial and getting initial, what is it? Oh, feedback pegs. Wait, I'm confused. Feedback. There's feedback and feedback pegs. That's confusing. Feedback, this takes the initial size. Yeah. There, this takes the initial size like that. And what does that size have to be? Well, it has to be this. And it feels like, okay, that's one, but this is going to happen in various places. And that feels really awkward. So let's reset. So. Instead, let me maybe think from the game screen backwards. We're trying to get away from the feedback pegs here and instead pass in the round, which comes from the game and the round number. So I'd like to avoid passing in the feedback pegs altogether and instead have the source of truth be inside of the game. Clear as mud? What's a step? What's the next step? I think the next step is to say, no, we're not going to do this. You hold on to the feedback pegs. Take the secret size and feed. Like that. Let's see. So that should set the initial pegs. I'm just going to leave it exposed for now. We want to lock this down so that the round is controlling the pegs and you know, it'll offer them to you, but you don't get to change them. That'll happen when the round says, what's given the current guess, Where's the guess? So confusing. But this should be okay. So what is this? This is low risk so far. Add feedback pegs into round. Hey, I'm Bossy. Welcome, first time chatter. Feel free. I don't know if you've been lurking before or if this is your first time. Feel free to ask random questions. Well, welcome. Are you, do you do any Apple development? I know there aren't that many streamers who are doing iOS stuff. Not that I've seen. Not when I go check. I've been trying to get into TDD, but I find it hard to test real-time UI-based cases, for example, rendering in 3D. That would be harder, for sure. I think my encouragement would be then try to either not one of two things. Don't do TDD for the rendering, or also when you're calculating TDD, calculating the rendering, you still have to do calculations and you can TDD those. So those are two different directions. One is stay out of that, out of the actual graphical side of things. And the other is, well, but sometimes you need calculations. Not only that, but I find it hard to test cases which aren't traditional input and output flow, in which case test doubles are required. It did click for me slightly, but it seems very time consuming. Ah, you're in the UK. Great. Yeah, input and output, definitely the easiest way to go. Test doubles. Oh. Test doubles are great, except when they're not. Marcus, we should have a conversation sometime about the overuse of mocks at work. I do when they're useful. So this is the in the journey of a test-driven developer, it typically goes like this. Oh, TDD looks great. Oh, but it doesn't work for these other cases. Oh, but there's test doubles. That's a thing. So now I can test those. Great. Then I'm going to use test doubles everywhere. And that's the problem, is the everywhere statement. Because then you start mocking everything and it doesn't actually, it actually degrades your design and makes things sometimes harder to test. So test doubles when they help, except when they don't. I've already learned about using something everywhere. Back when I first learned, about the design patterns. Yes, yeah. That was my journey too. I was like, oh, design patterns, awesome. Use them, overuse them. Oh, oops. Then discover that the pattern describes when to use it. Yeah, So yeah, similar to that. Swing around. And yet that's part of learning. So it's okay, right? It's okay to have that journey and make those mistakes and go from not knowing how to do something to overusing it and then finding where is it useful. All right. So having added the feedback pegs. Yep. Glad you're here. Welcome. This is, yeah, this is a good place to do TDD. We're not right now. This whole thing has been TDD'd, but now I'm discovering things we need to move around. So it's a lot of refactoring in this session. So if we have feedback pegs sitting here now inside of the round and they're sitting there empty, I wonder if let's see the game current guess. Hey Tommy. This guess versus round thing is starting to come up again. Let's see what this is. Rounds. Okay, let's do a little more renaming here. This is gross too, but it's temporary. What's gross? Exposed properties. Just sitting there. Let's do this. Does nothing use this? No. Surely this is used, yes. It's not going to let me rename this? Doggone you. I mean, is it implicit? Let's find out by just doing it by hand and see. Well, let's do it this way. And see what breaks. And why didn't it pick it up? Well, that's unusual. I still consider this low risk because it wasn't fully automated, but I think it's provable in the sense that if it compiles, it's good. Where else do we have current guess? Current, yeah. So is the guess complete? The code is the guess. This is okay. This is good. Remember, I came here. I'm like, where's the inside of the round? Where's the guess? It's the code. The guess is the array of code choices. Well, let's keep going because renaming may be one of the most important things that you can do. kind of want to see what are all the changes here. I mean, we have these. Let's just see how it reads. You know what's better than C? Use emoji. So around has a single guess or guesses. The funny thing about emoji is that it's legal. Like, and oh, you want to see something horrible. Like, great for logging, but I'm talking about saying like some emoji, pretend I have an emoji here, like this. So instead of XXX, like having the confused face or whatever it is. Just to really mess it up. Yeah, around can only have a single guess. But around now has the guess and the pegs. Just to show y'all. This is the reference app. So here's a round. It has a number. So around ought to know what number it is, I think. It's got the guess and it's got the feedback. So I just want to not confirm, I want to get a sense of what this is. The size is the guess count. It could just as well be the feedback peg. Size, A round is complete if the guess no longer has nils. Subscript. Yeah, this is starting an app from zero. Want to see? I'll show you how much it does right now. Single round. The code is a combination of these colors. So there's our round numbers just sitting out there. And I can say like, well, let's say it's green, green, brown. And there's 1 in the correct position, 2 in the incorrect position, and 1 wrong. Yeah, we'll see about round numbers. I'm also, the approach that I've chosen for this version of Mastermind, I suspect there will be a second one, is to really lean into doing it from the UI first, UI-centric TDD. And from there, discover the domain, which is kind of why this is getting a little messy. I'm imagining that at some point, it would be fun to flip it on its head and start over and say, let's do a full domain implementation, a headless version of the game, and then add UI on top of it. Does the round really need to know what the round number is? Maybe not. Place choice in next slot. This all looks pretty nice and contained. And I think that's the only, yeah, that's it. But this will eliminate confusion about me coming here and where's the guess? John says, I recently refactored using the UI first domain discovery significantly improved my project. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious how it will go. And I also really want to, um, for the future, try it with uh, acceptance test. Like be able to have an acceptance test that plays a full game, all without touching the UI. Right. We have guesses. Where are we? We're trying to expose. So this is currently exposed. We are trying to move the game screen. We're trying to get rid of this. That's a state. What happens to this thing? This is where it gets updated. Going back to testing a real-time case like rendering, how would you go about that? Well, I think, let me try to rephrase what I said before. I would, there are two ways, and I think it's a combination of both. One is to say rendering is off limits. We're not going to test, we're not going to actually test renders. And so don't stay out of that lane for TDD. How do you do that? By going either on the inside or the out, well, going both inside and outside. There will be stuff on the outside that you can say, I'm preparing outside of the rendering engine. I want to call it correctly. And on the inside, I'm making the correct calculations and calls to things. But at some point, you're going to hit the layer, the abstraction that probably doesn't exist of saying I'm talking to an actual rendering thing. And maybe that's a missing layer or not. It's hard to say. So it doesn't need to be state. If because the game is observed when it changes. Yeah, feeling stumped is okay. Basically, that is the deep end of the pool there. And that's okay, right? The game is observable. So as we move into the game, which has rounds, and each round has the feedback pegs, which update. This should just update the game. Right now, it is returning a new set of pegs for the current guess, when it should let's see if we can do this. We've got it coming in here and we're changing it here. How to do this in a safe way. And I think that what I want is to use computed properties. Let's see here. Let's just see what it provides. Is this, I just accepted it. I have no idea. Did set. That looks correct. Going into the current guess, I mean, yeah, this is, oh, the current guess. That's wrong. Secret matches current round. Oh, can't do that. Could push feedback pegs over to game first, then push down. I like it. Let's do that. One thing I've started using is assertions more in general, just for helping me catch things sooner rather than later, not directly related to DDE. One thing I have definitely leaned into is making custom assertions, like lots of helpers. Because then you can express things that are closer to the domain rather than being all sort of programmer ease. And that leads to better tests. All right, let's go with Bill's idea. It is a good one. Over and then down. So let's even though it's a duplicate, we have that there. Then can I go yes. Wait. Sorry, get. This is wrong. Did set cannot be provided with a getter? Okay, I'm confused. Let's ask the thing to do it for us. Property to redirect feedback pegs to game feedback pegs with getter and setter. Let's see if it'll do this. There we go. Not did set, but get and set. There. Will this work? So I'm using Xcode with GitHub Copilot. Okay, let's see what's complaining. Self is immutable. Because and that's where it's a state. Well, shoot. So it's not going to be that easy. What I'd like, yes, Xcode looks really good. That is, they focus so much on the appearance, and okay, it's been a while. One of the great criticisms of AppCode was it's ugly. Don't I have an AppCode? No, I never did make an AppCode reaction. C++, nice. Right. So I think we discovered this last time, that the refactoring trick we discovered a little while ago of I want to move a thing, and the easiest way to do that is with a computed property with a getter and setter, and just say poof, and then that this is the self-encapsulate step that Martin Fowler describes, just in a different format. But that doesn't work inside of a view because we're missing state. So let's mark this. I have not been updating this. Let's come back and clean up our discovery tree. We just did a whole lot of stuff here, but I'm just wiping that out because even though we did it, yeah, I want this to be helpful. To move the feedback pegs into the round, move pegs into game, and then down. This is Master Crafter Bill Wake's excellent idea for, you saw me scratching for how do I break this into a smaller step. This looks like a great smaller step. So this is where we will continue next time. What have we learned? This is our place to take notes and do a retro. Can't use bar to redirect state. We'll have to do it more directly than that. What else? We have had good discussions about sort of TDD in general. Oh, we talked about overplaying mocks. From no mocks to too many mocks to just right. I guess it's Goldilocks, right? Goldilocks. Oh, we have a new term, people, for finding the sweet spot with test doubles. Goldilocks. Damn. Oh, I love it. Just enough. Uh, all right. This has been a good time. Brief. I know these 1 hour sessions, I feel like this is why we initially extended them, but having this shorter has given me greater room, breathing room to start creating curated, crafted videos on my YouTube channel. Thanks for coming by, Vasi. Hope you can make it again. Will I be here next week? Doubtful. Today is grandchild's due date. And so we've made it this far. That means the odds of each succeeding day of me being here and available in my house, in my studio, my study with the green screen behind me, diminish rapidly. So odds are I will be gone. But I'll keep you all posted in the usual channels. So thanks, Bill. Yeah, this will be grandson number 2. Grandchild number 2. Almost there. All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. Take care. Stay sane. Keep laughing. Keep learning. Keep growing. And inside of our constraints. Oh, hello. First time chatter. Miley. Thank you for coming by. Yeah. All right. Till next time, whenever that is. I'll keep you posted. Follow the announcements on the usual places. All right. Take care. Come back again. All right. Bye-bye.